Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for this evening's Ripon College Hawk Talk. This session today is on the Franzen Center, which is in our library at Ripon College. I'm joined by Brenda Gabrielson, who's the director of the Academic Support Center, and Lindsay Wygand, who is a current student and also a tutor. So they're going to share a lot of information about the center and how our tutoring works, and really kind of get some information out there for you students who are considering Ripon and to know what's available when you're on campus. So with that, Brenda, I'll turn over to you if you want to give any more of an introduction, and Lindsay, and then really go into the presentation you have.
Okay, so as Jill mentioned, my name is Brenda Gabrielson, and I am the director of the Franzen Center for Academic Success. And this is something that's relatively new. In the past, we've had some siloed tutoring available, and in the fall of 2019, we opened up the Franzen Center in the back of Lane Library. And so it incorporates all of our academic assistants kind of in one place, which is kind of nice for students. So they just have to come to one place to get a lot of their tutoring done or used. So I'm going to just stop there and let Lindsay introduce herself, and then I'll go to my presentation.
Hi, my name is Lindsay. I am a junior here at Ripon, and I'm a double major in theater and psychobiology. I have been receiving tutoring since my fall freshman semester, and I started tutoring my spring freshman semester. So I've kind of been doing this for quite a while now, and before me, my sister was a tutor as well. So I'm inclined to say it's like it's in the blood now.
Okay, so we offer a lot of different types of tutoring or academic assistance, and I am going to try to bring up my presentation, but you know, I have a laptop here that's a little finicky, so let's just see if it works. Can everybody see it? Okay. All right, so the first type of academic assistance or tutoring I'm going to talk about is contracted tutoring. And actually, Lindsay is a contracted tutor. So contracted tutoring can be in a one-on-one or small group format. And it's very popular on our campus. So I have on here right now, this spring, we have received 339 tutor requests for contracted tutoring, which is pretty phenomenal for a spring semester. And this semester, due to the pandemic, you know, we've had to do it online, but normally we would do this in the Franzen Center. All tutoring would take place in the Franzen Center. So how contracted tutoring works is that a student can request a tutor on our Ripon portal, and then I receive that request and I would send an email to the student with the names of the eligible tutors. And then the student would contact those tutors, and then between the tutor and the student, they will come up with specific times and days that they're going to meet during the week. You do have to meet for a minimum of 2 hours per week. And I always say it's kind of like a win-win because it's 2 hours of built-in study time with somebody who has already taken the course and done well. And the nice thing about the contracted tutoring is that the link on the portal is live well before the semester even starts. So students are requesting tutors even before the semester starts, so that those tutors and students can start tutoring sessions the first week of the semester if they're really early on their requests. Lindsay, is there anything you want to add? Am I missing something on this, the contracted tutoring? You could do a maximum of 3 hours of tutoring a week. Again, it's been very beneficial for a lot of students.
I know for myself as a tutor and as a tutee, I think best part about tutoring on campus is that you really get to make it work for you. And I always say that the first time that I meet with any new potential tutees when I'm trying to figure out if we think we'd be a good match for each other. So I know some people just use it for, oh, I have an exam coming up, I really need help with this one concept, or, oh, I have this homework assignment and I really tried, but I just can't get question number 6 right, and things like that. So I've known just a lot of different ways that tutoring can be beneficial, and it really just depends on who you are and what you need for that class.
And I think that contracted tutoring is also beneficial for those classes where the finals are cumulative, right? So, you know, they will be reviewing information with you even after, you know, you might have taken an exam on that unit. If you have a comprehensive final exam for that particular course, you know, they'll keep going back and reviewing things so that it's kind of like a nice study for that final exam. Another type of academic assistance that we have, which is relatively new. So this is something that started with the Franzen Center about 2 years ago, and it's called Quantitative Drop-in Tutoring. So you don't have to sign a contract. You don't even need to make an appointment to see the tutors. And these tutors can work with anybody who has questions in the 100 or 200 levels of physics, math, biology, chemistry, economics, psychology, and Catalyst 120. So I have the schedule up here. This is just the current schedule for spring, but typically we have between 2 and 4 hours, 4 or 5 days a week where the quantitative drop-in tutors are available. And students just drop in. It could be that they have a 5 or 10 minute question that they just need to meet with a tutor about in, say, biology or chemistry, or it could be that they're really needing some additional help on a specific concept, and so they're there for 2 or 3 hours working with a tutor. So it doesn't matter. You are there with that tutor until you understand what your question was about, and you can come and meet with a tutor every night that the tutor is available, or you can just come whenever you need the help. So again, there's no contract with this. This is purely drop-in. Then there is our writing and presentation tutoring. I'm gonna just put this over here so you can kind of see the writing and presentation tutoring area. So this is also very popular. Students can meet with a writing and presentation tutor, and then these tutors will read through the papers, and they will make feedback comments on the side of the paper. Usually students will bring in a hard copy and they will write it out. They don't look just at grammar. They will look at grammar. They will look at content. They will look at organization. Do you have a thesis that's strong enough to support your paper? Do you have sources? They'll look at the format of the paper and how it was supposed to be written. So like an APA or MLA or Chicago or some of the other formats, just to make sure that you're citing in your paper in the correct format. So they will be a great help to any student that comes in. They will also work with students who need to do a presentation in a class. So I don't know, Lindsay can attest to, there are probably a lot of courses where you're going to be giving presentations. And so one of the collaborative rooms is always assigned to a writing and presentation tutor. So if you want to go in and practice your presentation and get some feedback on that, they're always willing to do that. If you just want them to kind of look at your PowerPoint or presentation and give you some feedback on that, they will do that as well. So this is a real beneficial form of tutoring on campus. And I'm pretty sure I just saw a paper from Lindsay come through, so I know she uses the writing and presentation tutoring. What can you say about this particular resource?
I know for me, I'm not the strongest writer, so it's really beneficial too after I've like been slaving away on a paper and like you think it's okay, but sometimes it's just nice to get another second opinion at it. And it's really beneficial to have someone be like, okay, you know, you just need to work on these specific things, and it's hard sometimes when you're writing a paper to determine that for yourself. I love the writing and presentation area because they do as much as little 3-page papers for a class, but they've also looked at like my 28-page paper for psych classes. So they really can do it all, and it's just really beneficial.
It is, and it does get a little hairy when the Catalyst 300 papers come through, but they do it. They're really great at their job. So the hours, and they are available a lot for students. So their hours are Monday through Thursday from noon to midnight. So they're available 12 hours on Monday through Thursday, Friday from noon to 4, and then Sundays from 3 to midnight. Right now, again, because of the pandemic, we have them in a drop box. So students can drop their papers online. I don't know if this is surprising or not, but actually we get more students who are utilizing the writing and presentation tutoring since they can just drop it from their room than having to come into the Franzen Center. But I think there's a real benefit about having to come in and meet with a tutor. And then they sit down afterwards, after they've read through your whole paper and made comments, they will sit down with you and they will talk to you about why they made the comments they did. And it gives you an opportunity to talk to them. Like if you have questions about your paper. So, I know that the Dropbox is an easy way right now, but I do also think that there is a bigger benefit to coming in and working in person with one of these tutors. The last form of academic assistance that I want to talk about is the peer-led undergraduate study workshops. So these are workshops that are typically, we hold them on courses where we have a high tutor request. So typically those courses are biology courses. So like the Bio 121, right now we have a Bio 121 and a Bio 312, which is the anatomy and phys. We've had some in the intro psych class, so the psych 110. We've had some in chemistry, so the chem 111. The difference between this type of tutoring and the contracted tutoring is there is a real focus on hands-on activities to enhance learning. So this is a 90-minute workshop, and there's a peer leader assigned that you have through the whole semester. And we do require that students sign up for this. And so they plan hands-on activities in those 90 minutes as opposed to, the contracted tutoring is more of an hour at a time. And while there are some hands-on activities, it's maybe more dialogue-based, whereas this is really more activity-based. They actually have like lesson plans that they have to create each week and submit so we can see. So, they might be doing, they might have a quiz at the end of each one, or they might be diagramming, and I'm really horrible in biology right now. They might be diagramming a cell, which I'm sure is way too easy for what they're doing right now. But, or photosynthesis, they might be having to, do something with a picture of how photosynthesis works. But it's all, hands-on, either on the whiteboards in the collaborative rooms or, worksheets, things like that. So if you're a more hands-on person and you're in a class where we're offering this workshop, I would highly encourage you to sign up for that. And the peer leaders do meet weekly with the instructors, so they get some feedback on, where the class is at and what kind of activities they should be using with the students. A little bit about the Franzen Center itself. So we mentioned that it's in the back of the main floor of the Lane Library. A lot of students use the Franzen Center for tutoring, but it's an awesome place to study as well. So we have a lot of different seating here. So we actually have some like restaurant booths. They kind of look like restaurant booths. Those are the most popular. And then there's different table setups for students. A lot of studying does get done in the Franzen Center. We also have 6 collaborative rooms, and they can be reserved at any time, either through the portal or there's like little panels right next to each collaborative room that you can reserve it. There are 2 larger ones, so 301 and 306 in normal times. You could probably have about 12 people in those rooms. The smaller collaborative rooms, probably about 5 or 6 students. Typically those are really, really popular, and those are reserved from morning till evening. I don't know, Lindsay, if you reserved those in the past or not.
Yeah, right now the course that I'm tutoring, we don't really require a whiteboard, but a couple semesters ago when I was tutoring calculus, it was really common for us to meet in those rooms because especially in 301 and 306, there are whiteboards that like cover half of the room. So it really gives us the opportunity to say like, we're working on a problem, split up, let's see what we can figure out. So it's really beneficial. And it also is helpful for students who get distracted, that you're sort of closed in and right now we're focusing on just this task.
Mhm. They are very popular, and the whole Franzen Center itself, that first year that we were open, it was utilized to the max, I would say, just about every day, except for maybe Friday afternoons, because people are leaving or have other things to do on a Friday than study in the Franzen Center. The last thing I want to talk about is the hiring process. So not only do we tutor a lot of students on campus and work with a lot of students on campus, I am always hiring tutors. So right now I have probably about 60 to 65 tutors that I have working for the Franzen Center, either in contracted tutoring or writing a presentation, quantitative plus. And so it is a job here on campus. And so, you know, when you come on campus, you cannot be a tutor the first semester you're here because we do need to see how you do in classes. But the second semester, your freshman year, you can certainly apply to be a tutor. And so the steps are you would go to the Franzen Center tab in the portal, and there is an application there. The requirements to be a tutor is that you need to have at least a 3.25 GPA or higher. That's a cumulative. You need to have 2 recommendations. One has to be a faculty member. And if you are applying to be a contracted tutor, you will need to put down the names of the instructors that you took the class that you want to tutor. So if you wanted to tutor Chem 111, you would need to put down Professor Willoughby. And then I would contact Professor Willoughby to see if he would recommend you as a tutor. And you must have gotten or earned a B or higher in the course that you want to tutor, and that's for contracted tutoring. There is an interview process. So once we receive your application, we would invite you for an interview. And if all goes well and we give you an offer of employment, there is training that goes along with that as well. So there's online training that has to be completed prior to beginning tutoring. And then there is some in-person training as well. And then you are eligible to become a tutor. Tutors here on campus make $8.75 an hour, which is slightly higher than a lot of other areas on campus. So a lot of students like to be a tutor for a variety of reasons. And so, Lindsay, what question am I going to ask you?
Why I wanted to be a tutor is my guess.
You are right. You could read my mind.
So the first semester that I decided to start tutoring, I want to say when I was my fall semester, there was a course that no one was able to tutor me in. So for me, I wanted to be able to tutor that course to help other students with it. And then I kept tutoring. As I get further into my education here at Ripon, I find it really important to make sure that I'm still familiar with the basics. So not only am I helping my tutees like do well in their courses, but it also reminds me of the things, especially intro to biology, intro to psychology, the early calculuses. A lot of it is a good practice for me to stay in touch with the information that I need for my major as well.
That's right. And I know that a lot of tutors that work for me are planning to go to grad school. And so for them, tutoring is a way of reviewing, especially, and I know I keep going back to the sciences, but I've had several tutors who are planning to go to grad school and they want to take their MCATs. So this is a way for them actually to continually review the material. It really helps them if that's a route that you think you might want to go, or the LSATs or whatever exam that you would possibly want to take to get into a grad school. So I've heard that several times. So that is our presentation. And so the next thing I am going to do is ask for questions. If there's anyone here after our presentation